So again, good evening and welcome, and thank you very much, everyone, to come here to make the effort, giving your precious time.
Buenas tardes, bienvenidos y gracias a todos por hacer el esfuerzo de venir aquí y pasar vuestro precioso tiempo aquí.
And normally I like to start sessions with a short mindful breathing exercise meditation to quiet our mind and to bring our mind in the moment present.
Normalmente me gusta empezar las sesiones con una breve meditación para tranquilizar la mente, para traer la mente al presente.
And followed by generating a good motivation for being here, and then we start the talk.
Y luego seguida de una motivación para estar aquí antes de empezar a hablar.
And try to keep your back straight.
Tratar de mantener la espalda recta.
And let go of any tightness, stiffness in your body. Just try to relax and make comfortable.
Suelta el cansancio, la tensión y trata de relajar y estar cómodo.
And let go of any hope, fear, or any thoughts for the moment.
Y suelta cualquier esperanza, cualquier pensamiento sobre el momento.
And feel the weight of your body on the cushion or chair.
Siente el peso del cuerpo en el cojín o en la silla.
And as you breathe naturally, try to observe the breath mindfully and be aware that you are breathing in when you are breathing in, and when you're breathing out, being aware you are breathing out.
Deja la respiración como esté, tratando de ser consciente cuando estás inspirando y ser consciente cuando estás expirando.
Simply just observing and being aware.
Solo observar y ser consciente.
once your mind's calm and quiet, then we'll try to generate good intention for being here.
Una vez que tu mente se ha calmado y está más en silencio, trata de generar una buena intención para estar aquí, de estar aquí.
If we observe in our experience, our everyday life, one of the reasons and the main reasons why we have conflict with others, why we have problem with others, and why we suffer or experience so much pain in our life is most time primarily is because of our ego mind, because of our self-important mind, the self-cherishing mind.
Observamos en nuestra experiencia diaria una de las principales razones por las que tenemos conflictos con otros o sufrimos, principalmente es por nuestra mente egoica, por nuestra mente que se aferra.
If we have less clinging ego, self-importance, selfish attitude so much, we will not easily be hurt by someone's actions, behavior, response towards us. And if we don't get so much hurt, if we don't feel so much hurt, we will not suffer so much.
Si tuviéramos un ego que se aferra menos, no nos sentiríamos tan heridos, no sentiríamos tanto sufrimiento.
And if you don't feel so much hurt by the other person's behavior, action, and attitude, we will experience less pain, we will be less upset, and we will have less conflict and less problem with the persons.
Y si no sientes tanto sufrimiento por la actitud, por las acciones, por las palabras de otros, tienes menos conflictos.
And less problem and less conflict with others and less suffering.
Menos problemas, menos conflictos con otros y menos sufrimiento.
Therefore, with that understanding and recognizing, I must try to reduce that clinging ego, the selfish attitude, which is the root of all the problems, as much as possible.
Por lo tanto, con esa comprensión, reconociendo esto, Debemos reducir ese ego que se aferra a esa actitud egocéntrica.
With also less ego mind, with less selfish attitude, there is more potential, more space for the true love, compassion, and bodhicitta mind to grow.
Con menos actitud egoica hay más potencial, más espacio para que crezca la mente de la bodhicitta y el amor.
And in order to reduce that strong selfish attitude and ego mind, we need to contemplate meditation practice correctly, continuously.
Para poder reducir la mente egoica necesitamos contemplar la mente, aprender a meditar de manera correcta.
And to be able to meditate, contemplate, and practice correctly, continuously, we need to be inspired, encouraged, and reminded of those practices all the time.
Para ser capaces de contemplar de manera correcta necesitamos estar inspirados, tener la fuerza y también acordarnos.
So, for that very reason and purpose that we have come here together to listen and to engage in discussions, reflection, contemplations.
Y por este motivo, para este propósito, hemos venido para discutir y para hablar sobre temas que nos ayudan a involucrarnos en estos asuntos.
May our act of coming here together, giving our precious time, energy, resource to listen and to reflect, may all of this become cause and conditions to reduce that selfish attitude.
Y por haber venido aquí hoy, por encontrarnos aquí, estos se puedan convertir en causas y condiciones para reducir nuestra mente egoica.
And to increase and improve true loving kindness, compassion, and the bodhicitta mind.
Para que crezca y mejore la mente de la bodhicitta y la compasión, la bondad.
As well as highest level of wisdom. Highest level of wisdom.
Y lo mismo con el nivel de sabiduría.
May it be cause and conditions to achieve our highest potential, the fully awakened state, so we can be not only help, but greatest help and benefit, and not only for few, but for all sentient beings.
Que pueden ser causas y condiciones para alcanzar nuestro máximo nivel de desarrollo, el máximo nivel de sabiduría, para poder beneficiar a todos los seres.
Sangye Choda Yogi Dhananda Samjo Bhakto Dani Kyasochi Dagi Jinso Gibe Sonamki Yoga Penche Sangye Dukasho Sangye Choda Yogi Dhananda Samjo Bhakto Dani Kyasochi Dagi Jinso Gibe Sonamki Yoga Penche Sangye Dukasho Sangye Chodan Sogi Sonamda Samjo Bhakto Dhamne Kyasochi Dagi Sogi Sonamki Yoga Penche Sangye Dukkha. So today's topic of the talk or discussions is Tong-LEN, which is a Tibetan term.
El tema de hoy es Tong-LEN, en lengua tibetana.
And Tong means giving or sending. Len means taking or receiving.
Tong significa dando o mandando y len recibiendo.
Mm. You find about the practice of Tong-LEN mentioning earliest in Nagarjuna's writings, in one of his writings, Precious Garland. And then you also find mentioning of that practice also in Shantideva's writings later, one of the Indian masters, in his books of way of life.
Podéis encontrar menciones a esta práctica en la preciosa Yunanda de Nagarjuna y también en cartas de Shantideva en la vida del Bodhisattva.
And then it became more popular and well known later in Tibet. Adisha brought those teachings, and earlier those practice meditation was, even though there's mentioning of that, but there is no detailed mentionings of the practice, and the teaching was more passed orally.
Se hace más popular y más conocido un poco más tarde en Tíbet, porque previamente no había menciones sobre la práctica con mucho detalle, sino que pasaba oralmente Dharma secreto.
And then Gueshe Langritamba in Tibet, he wrote this Lojong practice, 8 verses of mind training, and in that practice, the verse number 7, in the verse number 7, so he mentions, he talks and teach about that practice of Tong-LEN.
Lo que es el Amitabha, lo otro, los 8 versos de transformación del pensamiento, en el verso número 7 de esa práctica enseña la práctica de Tong-LEN.
And then Gueshe Chekawa wrote a commentary to or that it was a mind training commentary that is known as 7 point of mind training. And Gueshe Chekawa, then in his 7 point of mind training, then he made a little bit more clear, little more extensive explanations.
Luego Gueshe Chekawa escribió los 7 puntos del entrenamiento mental y ahí hizo una explicación más extensa, más clara.
And then, and Tong-Len practice become extremely popular and well known during those Kadamba time. And it is mentioned that at one time, there was a lot of leprosy in Tibet during that time, spreading. And so the Kadamba masters, Geshes, advise or give teachings and practice for them to practice the Tong-Len in such time, all the people who are experiencing. And through that, the practice become more and more spread, more and more well-known, more and more popular. And now Tong-Len practice is also adapted by other traditions as well, within the Zen traditions, within the other meditation traditions, as they have also use that meditation also quite often. But the sources come from those Kadamba's masters' Lojong teachings. You go further, then you find it within Indian masters, Shantideva, Nagarjunas, and those. So that's a little bit history where this teaching and practice meditations come from.
La práctica del Tong-Len después se volvió muy popular y conocida en tiempos de los maestros Kadampa. Se mencionaba que había una vez que había mucha lepra y los maestros Kadampa dieron estas enseñanzas para que la gente los leprosos que padecían esta enfermedad pudieran hacer esta práctica. Y debido a esto se difundió mucho, se volvió muy popular y después otras tradiciones pues también adoptaron este tipo de meditación. Pero la fuente viene de estos maestros Kadampa que a su vez la toman de los indios de Nagarjuna y de Shantideva. Esta es un poco la historia de los orígenes del Tong-Len.
The Tong-Len practice meditations is, taking the sufferings, problems, obstacles, as well as the cause of problem and sufferings, obstacles on oneself, using the breath as a medium for that, and sending or giving, the joy, the happiness, the virtues, all the positive good thing quality that you have towards others.
La práctica de la meditación Tong-Len se basa en tomar el sufrimiento, los problemas, los obstáculos, la causa de los problemas, usando la respiración como medio para hacerlo y mandando de vuelta alegría, felicidad, todo lo bueno que tengas para los demás.
And the Tong-LEN practice is extremely powerful practice of meditations. To cultivate and to develop inner strength, courageous.
La práctica de Tong-LEN es una práctica extremadamente poderosa para cultivar fuerza interna y coraje.
Normally, we are fearful and afraid of facing problems, challenges, difficulties, obstacles, sufferings. We are very fearful and afraid of that, and we try to avoid them. We try to escape them.
Normalmente tenemos miedo, estamos asustados a la hora de afrontar problemas, obstáculos o cosas que sean un desafío para nosotros y tratamos de evitarlos.
And why we try to avoid, why we try to escape, why we try run away, because of that fear and afraid to face it, to deal with that, you know. And because of such fear and worry, of course, we experience a lot of stress and sufferings, because we are always worrying, fearful, something might go wrong, you know.
Porque tratamos de evitar, de escapar a esos problemas por ese miedo, debido a ese miedo que tenemos de encontrarnos con los problemas, experimentamos mucho estrés.
You know, we have so much stress and worries, fear. Maybe something might happen to my health. Maybe something might happen to my job. Maybe something might happen to something could go wrong in my job, my business, my relationships. It's so many things. You know, we worry so many things. We worry and fearful so many things. So we have a lot of fear and worry all the time.
Entonces ese estrés, las preocupaciones, pensamos, puede que me pase algo en la salud, o a lo mejor me pasa algo con el trabajo, con los negocios, y tenemos muchas preocupaciones, temores todo el tiempo, y estrés.
And because of that, you know, we experience a lot of stress, pain, and sufferings. And if we do face some obstacles, problems, challenges, and sufferings, then, you know, we get very devastated. We get very devastated by the problems, by the sufferings, by the pain, by the obstacles.
Y debido a todo este estrés, a todo lo que experimentamos, y al miedo que tenemos, al estrés por los obstáculos, cuando aparecen los obstáculos, los problemas y los sufrimientos, quedamos devastados ante las dificultades.
For example, even when our health is good, sometimes we have a lot of fear and worry about our health. Okay? That something might go wrong. And then if we do have some health issues, challenges, then we become very devastated to find out of that health issues, for example.
Por ejemplo, aunque nuestra salud sea buena, pues a veces tenemos mucha preocupación por nuestra salud. Y si tenemos pues algunos asuntos con la salud, nos preocupamos excesivamente, nos atemorizamos demasiado ante esas dificultades.
And we have so much fearful and so much worry, and about facing or encountering something, something we don't want, something bad. And when we do encounter, if we do encounter them, if we do face them, we become very devastated because we don't have the inner strength and courage to deal with that.
Tenemos demasiado miedo y preocupación a encontrarnos con algo que no queremos, entonces quedamos devastados porque tenemos demasiada preocupación por encontrarnos con eso.
If we have a strong inner strength, courageous, we will have less fear, less worry of all of these things. And even if we do face them, of course, we try as much as possible not to, not to have that. But if we do encounter them, if we do face them, you will not be so devastated. You will be not so devastated. You will not be so easily knocked down because you have this very strong inner strength and courage to deal with that, their ability.
Si tuviéramos más fuerza interna, aunque nos encontrásemos con los problemas, que ojalá no tengamos que encontrarnos con problemas, pues no estarías tan devastado, no te tirarían tan abajo cada vez que tienes un problema, porque tienes esa fuerza y ese coraje para mirarlos.
So Tong-Len practice is very powerful practice, meditations to develop and to increase that kind of inner strength and courageous to face and encounter any kind of challenges, any kind of difficulties, any kind of problem, any kind of obstacle and sufferings, whatever it might arise.
Así que la práctica del Tong-Len es muy poderosa para desarrollar esa fuerza interna para poder enfrentarte a los obstáculos, a los problemas, a los desafíos que puedan aparecer.
Normally with the problem and sufferings, we try to escape, we try to run away. In Tong-Len practice, when you are training the Tong-Len practice, you are training, say, give me more problems. Give me more, I'm ready. Give me more problems. Give me more sufferings. Give me more obstacles. Give me more challenges. Give me more difficulties. So you are constantly training your mind, ready to take more and more. And with that training over the time, your mind becomes ready, strong, and strength and courage, and not fearful, not afraid and fearful of the problem and sufferings and challenges.
que con el Tong-LEN desarrollamos una especie de decir, dame más problemas, dame más desafíos, dame más obstáculos, dame más, porque estoy preparado constantemente, estoy entrenando mi mente está lista y está preparado, así que no tengo miedo, puedo encontrarme con problemas porque estoy desarrollando esa fuerza interna que me da esa capacidad.
And of course, Tong-LEN practice, very powerful practice to reduce and crush and destroy the self-centeredness, the selfish attitudes. That is the root of our problem, our sufferings.
La práctica del Tong-LEN es muy poderosa para reducir y para destruir la actitud egocéntrica, la autocentrada, que es la raíz de todos los sufrimientos.
And it is due to that selfish attitude, the self-centeredness, the clinging ego, that we are unable to cultivate true unconditional love, compassion, both in the mind. It's due to that selfish attitude that we are unable to expand our love, compassion to all other beings. The reason why I'm unable to expand to all other beings is because of that, again, the selfish attitude, the self-centeredness.
Es debido a esa actitud del ego que se aferra, que no podemos cultivar la compasión, la mente de la bodhicitta, no podemos dar a los demás el amor y la bodhicitta.
And by engaging in the practice of Tong-LEN, as we train through practice and meditation in Tong-LEN, and that selfish attitude gets less and less, our mind becomes more and more soft. Our mind becomes more and more soft, more and more spacious, more and more open. And with that spacious, open softness, then it allows you to feel love, compassion, true unconditional love, compassion to others, not only to feel true love and unconditional love, compassion to others, but to be able to expand that feeling to not only few, but to each and all sentient beings.
Y al implicarse en la práctica del Tong-LEN, esa actitud egocéntrica disminuye, la mente se vuelve más espaciosa, más suave, más abierta y permite sentir el amor y la compasión hacia otros. También no solo para uno mismo, sino compartir ese amor y esa compasión.
Also, Tong-LEN practice, help to cultivate and increase and improve loving kindness, compassion, both to the mind. It also, through taking and giving, it also creates a lot of merit. Each time we do the practice.
La práctica del Tong-LEN ayuda a cultivar y a incrementar el amor y la compasión, la mente de la bodhicitta, y dar y tomar, crea las causas y las condiciones para la mente de la luchita.
Also, Tong-LEN practice include the practice of generosity, because you are sending and giving your joy, your happiness, your virtues, all your positive qualities. Also, it support and help the practice of moral discipline, because one of the reasons why we are unable to practice a moral discipline is, when we encounter certain problems, certain suffering, pain, then we get disturbed by that. We get hurt by that, disturbed by that. And because of that, then we started to respond or react harmfully towards others. And so through such practice, it helps us to avoid, harming others, restraining from harming others.
También la práctica del Tong-LEN, como incluye el dar, el mandar cosas buenas, sirve como de soporte para reforzar la disciplina moral. Entonces, cuando el sufrimiento está perturbando tu mente, nosotros normalmente reaccionamos dañando a los demás. Esta práctica nos ayuda a evitar dañar a los demás.
Also, it supports the practice of patience, joy, effort, concentrations, and wisdom, so it supports all the practice of other 6 parameters. So it's a very profound practice.
También actúa como un soporte, una base para la paciencia, para la alegría, para todas las demás paramitas.
So then, coming to the practice itself, I just wanted to kind of read certain from different sources. As I mentioned in Arjuna's precious garland, there are 3 verses that's related with this topic, where the one verse where he said, "May I be used as they want, the sentient beings, by all sentient beings, always like medicine, woods in the forest, earth, water, fire, and air."
Yendo a la práctica en sí, voy a leer de distintas fuentes. Ahora voy a citar 3 versos de la Granada preciosa de Arjuna. Can you repeat the verses, please?
Yeah. May I be
que yo pueda ser
used as they want,
usado como ellos quieran,
by all sentient beings always,
porque que todos los seres puedan usarme como quieran, cuando ellos quieran,
like medicine,
como medicina,
yeah, woods in the forest,
¿cómo? Madera en el bosque, madera en el bosque,
earth, water,
tierra, agua,
fire,
fuego
and air.
y viento.
What it means is, everyone use those elements, especially in public. Everyone can use those public place public water for public land for the public uses, the forests for the public uses, those that belong to the publics. Everyone.
Quiere decir que todos pueden usar esos elementos que son públicos, el agua que es pública, la tierra que es pública, en sitios públicos y para el público.
That belong to everyone.
Que pertenece a
all
todo
the
el
publics.
mundo.
Saying he's in same way, I be. Nagarjuna says also, I be, and also he's saying everyone should train and practice that I be like those public for everyone to use whatever is most beneficial for them, from whatever benefit they find from me, whatever help they find from me, may I be that help, may I be that benefit, may I be used most beneficial to whatever, whoever, and whatever their needs.
Que nada, de la misma forma dice que yo, igualmente que esas cosas que son públicas, que yo que también soy público, pueda ser usado para el beneficio de la gente, para los demás que me usen igual que el agua, que la tierra, para su mayor beneficio.
The next verse he says, may I cherish sentient beings like a life, just as we cherish our life very much. Same way, may I be able to cherish each and every sentient beings like your own life.
Que pueda cherish es apreciar, que pueda apreciar, ser apreciado como mi propia vida, ¿no?
And cherish them even more than myself.
Y pueda apreciarles incluso a ellos, incluso más que a mí mismo.
May all their negativities ripen upon me.
Que puedan todas las negatividades crecer en mí, madurar en mí.
May all my virtues ripen upon them.
Y que todas las virtudes maduren en los demás. Todas mis virtudes maduren en los demás.
So these verses here, Nagarjuna's, explain about this particular meditation practice on Tong-LEN, taking the negativities of others on yourself and giving your virtues towards others.
En estos versos Nagarjuna está hablando del Tong-LEN, de poder ofrecer toda la virtud y tomar toda la negatividad para uno mismo.
In Shantidevas, he said, may all the pains of living creatures ripen solely upon myself.
Y Shantideva dice que todo el dolor de las criaturas vivientes que madure en mí.
And through the mighty of Bodhisattva Sangha, may all beings experience happiness.
Y a través de la ¿qué? De la mente que me perdí.
So, yeah, should I repeat?
Yes.
And through the mighty, or let's say help of the Bodhisattva Sangha, may all beings experience happiness.
Y a través de la bondad de la sangha de los bodhisattvas, que todos puedan experimentar la felicidad.
No? So again, yeah, okay. Then you see Lamritamba in 8 verse of mind training. He say in brief, directly, indirectly, I offer help and happiness to all my mothers.
La metáfora de los versos de transformación mental dice, ofrezco, I offer
all my help and happiness
todo mi ayuda y felicidad
to all my mother sentient beings.
a todas mis madres, los seres sintientes.
And secretly take upon myself all their hurts and sufferings.
y secretamente tomo sobre mí todo su sufrimiento y todos sus problemas.
Mhm. And then Gueshe Chegawa, who wrote commentary to the Gueshe Langdithamba's writings, then trained in the two, taking and giving alternately.
Y Gueshe Chegawa dice, entrena en ambos, dar y tomar alternativamente.
Those two are to be on the bread.
Esos dos tienen que estar unidos con la respiración.
And begin the process of taking with yourself.
Y empieza el proceso de tomar contigo mismo.
So that here, Gueshe Chegawa's go a little bit more details in terms.
O sea que aquí Gueshe Chegawa está dando un poco más de detalle sobre la práctica.
He mentions about practicing taking the suffering of the others on yourself.
Menciona que tomes el sufrimiento de los demás sobre ti,
By using the breath as a vehicle.
usando la respiración como vehículo.
And also you send or give all your happiness, all your virtues by using the breath as a vehicle.
Y también que mandes toda tu felicidad y virtud a los demás usando la respiración como vehículo.
So basically when you breathe in, you take the sufferings, the problem, the obstacles with the breath. When you breathe out, you send all your happiness, all your virtues, all your positive qualities with the breath. You breathe out that, you breathe out the happiness, the virtues, all the positive qualities to the others.
Así que básicamente cuando inspiras, tomas el sufrimiento, los problemas y todos los obstáculos de los demás, los tomas para ti. Cuando expiras, mandas todas las cualidades, todas las virtudes, todo lo bueno para los demás.
Of course, we try to practice the tong-len in a relation with someone. But sometimes if we have difficult of doing that, then you start with yourself. First, you take your sufferings, your pain, and there are two ways of doing that, maybe I can come later. Okay. So if you have difficulty with starting with someone, then you start with yourself.
Entonces, por supuesto, tratamos de practicar en relación a alguien más, pero si al principio te resulta difícil, puedes empezar contigo mismo.
So we breathe in and out every day, 24 hours all the time. Because if you don't breathe in and out, then you are gone.
Así que respiramos constantemente todo el tiempo, las 24 horas, porque si en un momento no respiras, es que te has muerto.
Since we are breathing in and out 24 hours, we can use our breathing in and out for a high purpose, on a spiritual purpose, to make it a more beneficial, more virtuous through the practice of Tong-len.
Así que ya que estamos respirando 24 horas, constantemente podemos usar esto que hacemos tan a menudo para un propósito más alto, para un propósito espiritual, para beneficiar a los demás.
That is why Lama Tsongkhapa said, even the breath running in and out can become a great method of helping other beings.
Por eso la Mason Kappa dice, hasta la respiración entrando y saliendo se puede convertir en un gran método de beneficiar a otros seres.
By making them receive the highest, most magnificent state obtained through the practice of both our deeds,
Haciendo que ellos reciban los hechos más beneficiosos a través de esta práctica,
characteristic by the bodhicitta.
que se caracteriza por la bodhicitta.
So again, each time we breathe in, each time we breathe out, we can use for Tong-LEN practice. Each time we breathe in loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta mind. Each time we breathe out the selfish attitudes, the anger, self-centeredness, all. So each time we breathe in out, we breathe in the positive qualities and the loving kindness, compassion, both, we breathe out all the negativities.
Así que, de nuevo, cada vez que inspiramos y expiramos, podemos usar la práctica del Tong-LEN. Cada vez que inspiramos, podemos inspirar toda la actitud egoísta, lo autocentrado. Cada vez que expiramos, mandar la bodhicitta, el amor, la compasión, la bondad. Lo mismo, inspirar de nuevo las cualidades, lo negativo, y expirar mandando todas las buenas cualidades.
So if we try to make the Tong-LEN practice, formal practice, part of our formal meditation practice in our everyday life,
Si tratamos de hacer de la práctica de Tong-LEN una práctica formal, diaria, para poderla hacer todos los días.
So you can think of someone, your most close, dear one in your life, someone you have a very close relationship or very strong, dear, close feelings, and then think, contemplate, whatever different problems, sufferings, challenges, obstacles they might be going through in that moment, at that time, Maybe they might be having some health issues. Maybe they might be having some issue at workplace.
Así que podéis pensar en alguien que sea muy querido para vosotros, que apreciéis mucho, y contemplar los diferentes problemas que esa persona pueda tener, las dificultades que tenga, que pueda tener en cuanto a salud o en el trabajo, cualquier problema que pueda tener.
Or they might be going through some challenges in relationship with, either with, your partner, whether it's your children, whether it's your parent, whether it's your friends, whether it's your colleague, whatever they might be having some problem, challenges.
Puede que haya problemas o desafíos en las relaciones, en la pareja o con los hijos o con los colegas de trabajo. Puede que haya como asuntos difíciles que haya que atravesar, que haya que plantearse, que haya desafíos que atravesar.
Or, whatever other problems, suffering they might be going through, sometimes they might be going through, stress. Sometimes they might be going through a lot of grief, even maybe sometimes they might be going through, depressed state of depressed state, So again, yeah.
Puede que haya problemas que tengan que ver con el sufrimiento, con el estrés, que haya depresiones, o que haya dolor, pena.
And sometimes they might be dealing with low self-confidence, or they might be dealing with sense of inadequate, not good enough, and feeling of not good enough, inadequate, low self-esteem and all of that, again. So, whatever they might be going through, try to think that person and try to contemplate and feel whatever their pain and suffering.
Puede que esa persona se las esté viendo con un problema de falta de confianza, en la que se sienta inadecuado, no lo suficientemente bueno, un problema que tenga que ver con la baja autoestima o lo que sea, pues otra vez cuando veas eso, trata de sentir esa baja autoestima y tomarla para ti.
So then when you breathe in their wish to be free from whatever problems that they are going through, Nobody wants that problem. Nobody wants that suffering, the pain. They want to be free from that. They have a wish to be free from that problem, from that suffering, that pain. So you can, when you breathe in, you think you breathe in all the desire, the wish to be free from all this suffering, that particular pain, that particular problem.
Así que cuando inspiras el deseo de liberarse de ese problema, porque nadie quiere tener problemas. Inspiras su deseo de querer estar libre de ese sufrimiento, de ese dolor, de ese problema.
Not only their wish to be free from the pain and suffering, then you also breathe in their pain and sufferings. Imagine that, like all their pain and suffering are hooked with that breath, with that air, and you breathe in and taking away all their pain and sufferings.
No solo el deseo de liberarse, sino también inspiras su dolor. Imaginas que todo ese dolor es como si lo engancharas con un anzuelo y lo sacaras, lo trajeras hacia ti.
And then we breathe in, not only the immediate present problem or the suffering, but as well as all the potential there is to produce more problem, more suffering, more pain in the futures. The potential, taking all the potentials, the negative karma, that even the problem, suffering has not manifested now, but there is a potential there that could manifest in the futures. So not only the present suffering and pain, but also the potential, the negative karma of that person's you're taking as you breathe in.
Así que inspiramos no solo el problema, sino todo el potencial de que se puedan producir más problemas en el futuro, todo el karma negativo que pueda tener esa persona todo el potencial de que pueda haber más problemas, más sufrimiento.
As you breathe in, again, you not really the negative karma, but also you take in, you breathe in all their, the afflictive emotions, the delusions, such as, anger, attachments, ignorance, jealousy, pride, miserliness, so all of those afflictive emotions, negative emotions, you breathe in all their negative emotions, because if there's negative emotions, not only they create suffering, but also due to negative emotion, you create more negative karma in the future. And so therefore also taking, as you breathe in, taking and breathing in all those afflictive emotions.
Así que inspiras, no el karma negativo, sino las emociones negativas, todas las ilusiones, el orgullo, el odio, la ira, porque si hay emociones negativas, no solo hay sufrimiento, sino que hay más potencial de que se creen más emociones negativas.
And when you breathe out, and then also, you can, when you breathe in, then you breathe in all the obscurations, not only the obscuration of the afflictive emotions, but even the subtle obscurations to the enlightenment. Also, you breathe in that and think, imagine that you have taken all their obscurations and that they are free from that.
Entonces, cuando inspiras también todos los oscurecimientos, también todos los oscurecimientos sutiles a la iluminación. También inspiras para liberar de esos oscurecimientos.
And then when you breathe out, when you breathe out, then you breathe out, all your virtues and all your happiness, sending and giving them all your virtues and all your happiness.
Y cuando expiras, estás expirando todas las virtudes, todas tus virtudes, toda tu felicidad, mandando, enviando todas tus virtudes a esa persona.
Especially, someone is having a health issues, then you give and you send your positive karma, your virtues, your merit, positive karma, transform into the form of, some kind of healing, cure to that illness, and being completely cured and having a good health. If someone is having some kind of, financial situations, again, you visualize your positive karma, virtues, that merit, transform into the, something wealth that solve and the person's karma, and thereby, the person's receiving the wealth to relieve of the suffering of not having enough necessity to have the necessity to live, the suffering of the poverty and having, abandoned. Yeah.
Entonces, Cuando expiras, expiras también todo el karma positivo, tu karma positivo, tus méritos transformados en una cura para la enfermedad de esa persona, para que tenga buena salud. Y si está, lo que está pasando a esa persona, su situación financiera difícil, pues igual lo que estás expirando es toda tu riqueza para que el karma de esa persona pueda, eh, para que puedas aliviar el sufrimiento de esa persona, aliviando todo su sufrimiento de no tener, de pobreza.
So basically, whatever their needs are, as you breathe out your virtues, your positive karma, merit, that transform into whatever their needs are and fulfilling their needs and their happiness.
Que básicamente al exhalar, lo que estás exhalando es todas las necesidades que tenga esa persona. Estás como tratando de llenar todas esas necesidades que la persona carece.
As you breathe out, you breathe out and send, spacious, open mind, so that they have the strength, so they have the courage to deal with whatever challenges, whatever problems that they might be facing. So they have that inner courage, the strength, the wisdom, right wisdom to handle and deal the situation correctly, positively.
Que exhalas y mandas con una mente espaciosa, abierta, envías todo tu deseo de que tengan el coraje de poder manejarse con ese problema, de que tengan la sabiduría para manejar la situación de la manera más correcta y positiva posible.
So whatever positive thing that we have to offer, if we have good health, offer our good health to those who doesn't have a good health. If we have a resource, we offer those resources as we breathe out, sending all these resources for those who need those resources. And those who struggles with confidence, if you have confidence, you send all this confidence, the wisdom, compassion, whatever they need, and that you can offer, and that you send all of that as you breathe out.
Que mandas todo lo positivo que tenemos para ofrecer. Si tienes salud, manda salud. Si tienes recursos, al exhalar, manda recursos. Confianza, sabiduría, lo que pueda necesitar, compasión, todo lo que pueda necesitar, lo mandas.
So we send, as we breathe out, we send. We breathe out and we send whatever they temporarily need us, and we also breathe out and send the positive karma, the virtuous karma, and we also breathe out and send all the spiritual realizations, and then we also breathe out and send the highest level of wisdom and highest level of bodhicitta, and give them the highest level of ultimate happiness or fully enlightened state.
Mientras exhalamos, mandamos todo el karma positivo, todo lo virtuoso. Exhalamos, mandamos realizaciones espirituales Exhalamos, mandamos el más alto nivel de sabiduría. Y al exhalar mandamos el más alto nivel de bodhicitta, el más alto nivel de felicidad última y de realizaciones.
If you don't have so much time to do all of that, to keep it more simple, then, when you have, you just try to think of the present suffering and pain and take the present suffering and pain when you breathe in, as well as the cause of that suffering and the pain. And when you breathe out, you send and you breathe out, the solutions to that problems, solving that problems, sufferings, healing the pain, the sufferings.
Y si no tienes mucho tiempo, lo puedes hacer de una manera más simple. Al inhalar, inhalas el sufrimiento, el dolor. Y al exhalar, exhalas las soluciones a esos problemas o lo que permita sanar esa enfermedad.
So today maybe I will stop here and I will take some questions instead.
Así que hoy va a parar aquí y va a ver si queréis hacer preguntas.
Yes, please.
Gisela, I just want to make it clear, when you are doing the first step to oneself, you said that you're taking in love, compassion, and wisdom, and when you're breathing out, you are eliminating the causes that disturb. Is that so? And also the second question is, during this practice, there's a little bit of some resistance for some students, thinking that when they're doing the practice, they're actually going to experience suffering. Is it any tangible results that will happen? La primera pregunta es aclarar el primer punto de cuando estás haciendo Tong-LEN contigo mismo, si es cuando tú inhalas, recibes amor y compasión, y cuando exhalas, exhalas los problemas que tienes en ese mismo. Y luego la segunda pregunta es si puedes hacer una aclaración de las personas que normalmente tienen problemas al hacer esta práctica, pensando que van a recibir los problemas de la persona que está haciendo Tong-LEN cuando inhalas, y que se te van a ir tus logros cuando exhalas.
¿Se escuchó por ahí detrás?
Sí, gracias.
So with regard to the first question, there is two ways of doing Tong-LEN practice with yourself. Okay. One, if you can do, you can imagine, or you can do in front of mirror. Okay. Just like you imagine someone when you take someone's suffering, you also imagine yourself there, or you just look in mirror yourself there. And then whatever problem, suffering, obstacles, challenges that you are experiencing now, think as it is another being there, and then taking on that on yourself, who is visualizing, and then giving the happiness, the solutions, the cure to the problem, obstacles, sufferings. That is one way you can do, imagine imagine that, your another yourself there and doing that.
Vale, está contestando a la primera pregunta. Dice que hay dos maneras de hacer la práctica. La primera manera es imaginarte a ti mismo o hacerlo frente al espejo. Si te imaginas que tú estás enfrente, si lo haces al espejo, te miras y mandas cualquier problema, o sea, inhalas cualquier problema, sufrimiento, obstáculo, y pensando que lo que estás viendo, que es tu reflejo, es otro ser que está allí. Entonces te miras como si fueras otro ser, inhalas el problema, el sufrimiento, los obstáculos que quieres quitar y exhalas la solución, la cura, lo bueno. Esa es una manera.
So in that way, it's doing yourself instead of doing someone else, but similar way.
Entonces, así lo estás haciendo contigo mismo como si lo estuvieras haciendo con otra persona igual.
Mm. If you find that uncomfortable or not so effective or not so, let's say, more difficult to do that, then you can do, as I mentioned before, when you breathe in, you can visualize breathing in whatever cure for your illness, let's say that from the curing all the positive energy from the enlightened beings, all the healing energies, whatever cure for our problem and suffering, that, whatever solution, whatever cure, as you breathe in all of that, and then curing of your, whether it's your health issue, whether you have emotional, mental issue, or whatever other problem we have, healing of that, and receiving that cure to heal the problem and the suffering, so receiving that when you breathe in, and also as well as breathing in, the positive karma, virtues, the cause of happiness and the cause to change the situations. When we change when our karma change due to more virtues, then our situation also change. The true change, that transforming and changing.
Si eso no te resulta cómodo, o no te parece tan efectivo o es más difícil, puedes hacerlo de esta otra manera. Cuando inspiras la cura para tu enfermedad, cualquier solución para el problema, todo lo que sea que pueda solventar o curar ese problema, recibiendo la cura para sanar los problemas. Cuando inspiro, también tomas como todo el karma positivo, toda la virtud, todas las causas de virtud, y también como aprovechando el cambio, cuando hay un cambio de un karma negativo a un karma positivo, pues también tomas eso.
Yeah, and then when you breathe in, you breathe in all the loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta, mind, wisdom, all the spiritual realizations, and then when you breathe out, you breathe out whatever obstacles, whatever pain, whatever sufferings, whatever challenge, you breathe out that. You breathe out the cause of that, the negative karma. You breathe out, the root of those delusion, or the root of those negative karma, which are the delusion, and you breathe out all the obscurations. So that is one way of doing. Another slightly different way of doing Tong-LEN with yourself, with breathing in and breathing out.
Entonces, cuando inspiras amor, compasión, bodhicitta, todas las realizaciones que llevan a la iluminación, y cuando expiras todas las causas del karma negativo, la raíz de los engaños, los oscurecimientos. Así que esta es otra manera, que es cambiando para hacerlo contigo mismo.
So whatever you find more helpful, beneficial, effective, suitable, you try to apply that,
Así que puedes aplicar cualquiera de estas dos maneras, la que tú consideres que es que te va mejor, que es más beneficiosa, que te sirve más.
Regarding the second questions, is it possible to take someone's suffering and pain on oneself? But that is only when one has reached very high advanced practice, and also many other conditions have to come together. The karmic connections with the other person, yourself, and many other cause and conditions. Only in such special situations, circumstances, one might be able to take it. But at the very beginning, beginner practitioners, and it's sincerely, even you want to take it, it will be not so possible to do that.
Respecto a la segunda pregunta, ¿realmente es posible tomar el sufrimiento de alguien? Solo cuando uno es un practicante muy avanzado y tiene realizaciones, tiene conexiones kármicas especiales con esa persona y muchas otras causas y condiciones, pues en ciertas condiciones esos seres pueden hacerlo. Para el principiante no es que tú puedas realmente quitar el sufrimiento del otro.
And when you reach high level of practice, even when you are able to take the suffering on, you will not be fearful and wary, and you will be even more, the practitioner will be even very happy to be able to take on the suffering themselves. There's no fear, there's no worry. Instead, there is a joy and happiness to be able to do that, to be able to actually take on themselves, and for them to experience the other's pain and sufferings. So therefore, in that state, it will be different, because of mind training, your incredible progress in your training with such a strong amount of inner strength, courageous, instead of fear, it gives them great joy to be able to do that.
Cuando tienes un alto nivel de práctica, el practicante no tiene miedo de tomar el sufrimiento de los demás, no tiene miedo de sufrir, sino una gran alegría por poder experimentar ese sufrimiento. Es un estado diferente porque has alcanzado una gran fuerza interna, un coraje que te permite hacerlo.
Okay. Any questions? Yes. Yes, please.
Adelante.
Entonces, los principiantes, yo por ejemplo, cuando mandamos a otra persona que está sufriendo, ¿le llega esa sanación o no le llega?
So when we beginners send help for that person who is suffering, does the person receive really what we are sending or not? We beginners.
Yes, they can receive, because we all are karmically connected from Buddhist point of view. We all have been our mothers, children's, fathers, friends, in so many different ways, so many times. So there is we all have some, we might have some stronger connection with some others, but we all have some karmic connections. You know, and because of that karmic connections, you know, there is some, due to that karmic connections, you know, through your practice, through your virtues, through your positive merit, you know, and through certain practice, you know, when we pray or when we send, through the practice of Tong-LEN and so forth, you know, or when we dedicate, it does have some effect. It does have some effect, you know. It doesn't, even though situation might not change immediately, completely upside down, but it does have some positive effect. You know, sometimes it can be very subtle that we cannot notice. Sometimes it might be a little bit more growth that someone might be able to notice a little bit, but you know, so there is some effect, but can we change the situation completely? Then, you know, that might not be possible or difficult.
Sí, sí que puede recibirlo, porque todos estamos conectados desde el punto de vista budista, tenemos una conexión kármica, porque todos los seres pues, han sido tus padres, tus madres, tus hermanos en otras vidas, y ahí, debido a esas conexiones, a través de tu práctica, de tu virtud o de tus méritos, cuando hacemos oraciones o cuando dedicamos, sí que tiene efecto. Y puede que la situación no cambie inmediatamente o completamente, pero puede haber un cambio sutil que quizá no se note mucho, pero sí hay efecto. Podemos, a lo mejor no podemos cambiar inmediatamente y completamente la situación, pero sí tiene un efecto.
If we cannot change the situation completely or transform through our practice, through Tong-LEN practice, then why we do that? You know, again, as I mentioned at the very beginning, is also training your mind to be more compassionate, more kindness, training your mind to understand others' pain and sufferings, feel other pain and sufferings. Most time, we don't think of others' pain, suffering. We have no concerns about other pain and sufferings. And we don't feel other pain and suffering and have no compassion. So through this practice, what we do is, you know, we try to feel the pain and sufferings of others, understand, feel and pain and sufferings. Through feeling pain and sufferings, then we feel the compassions, loving kindness, love and compassion. By being able to feel love and compassion, maybe we might be able to do something. We will be inspired to do something, and we might be able to do something.
Si no podemos cambiar nada inmediatamente, ¿por qué hacer esta práctica? Pues también para cambiar tu mente, como ha dicho al principio. Estamos entrenando para poder entender y sentir el sufrimiento de los demás, también para obtener una fuerza interna. Y si no nos... O sea, la mayoría de las veces no nos importa, no tenemos compasión por el sufrimiento de los demás, y con esta práctica podemos entender y podemos sentir el sufrimiento de los demás, y eso va a generar amor y compasión, y a través de ese amor y compasión puede que nos sintamos inspirados para poder hacer algo que beneficie a esas personas.
Any other questions? Please.
I would like to know if, from the point of view of some masters or even from yourself, if there's any recommendation of just on one side, just focus on one person, or maybe in the future in maybe more people at a time. And the other one, it's if there's recommendations about maybe continuing this practice from one person in the time, or if there's no rules, maybe you can change, you can do any day different people, or if it's recommended to do the same one in the time. Thank you. Perdón, vale, sí. Sí, claro. Sí. Bueno, la primera pregunta es si hay recomendaciones por parte de los maestros o del mismo sobre si es recomendable centrarse en una sola persona, o si quizá más adelante con la práctica quizá extender esto a más personas. Y la segunda pregunta es si también hay recomendaciones sobre si hacer, digamos, mantener a esa misma persona en la que se piensa durante un tiempo, o ir, digamos, variando de persona a la que dirigirnos en nuestra práctica.
For formal practice that we do, if we try to do the formal practice every day of this practice, of course we start with someone, and then we try to expand it, of course you start with one person, then you expand to, all other friends, families, and then you expand it to, all human beings. Then you expand to not only human beings, all the animals, then all other beings, seen and unseen, all beings. So you try to expand that to all sentient beings gradually, First we work with the one that you really feel it, because at the very beginning, maybe we do the process practice, but we might not really feel very strongly. You get it? Sometimes you feel it, sometimes you don't feel it. You just do the process, but, so you do it until you really feel it, that you are really taking their pain, suffering. You are really giving them and sending them all the happiness, everything. So you really feel very strongly about it. And then slowly you expand to all, that is general Buddhist meditations, techniques, whether it's loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta, tong-len, equanimities. We start with someone where it's more easy to do, and then we expand to other beings, and slowly to all beings.
Entonces, para la práctica formal diaria, empezamos con alguien, con una persona con la que nos sentimos fuerte, que podamos sentir fuerte ese sufrimiento. Y luego gradualmente vamos extendiendo amigos, familias, seres humanos, animales, seres visibles, seres invisibles, poco a poco. Primero, empezar con los que sientes muy fuerte con los que te sientes, que hasta que realmente puedas sentir que tomas su sufrimiento y que le das esa virtud. Y luego esa es la técnica general que sirve también para trabajar con la bodhicitta, con la ecuanimidad. Empiezas por una persona que te resulta más fácil, que tienes más empatía, y poco a poco vas extendiendo.
But also, time to time, when someone, someone who need help, someone's going through a lot of problems, a lot of challenges, and you feel about them, then you can do that during that time. In such instant, you can focus on that particular individual, that particular person's taking their pain, suffering, giving them the cure, the healing, the solutions, So again, in such situation, you can always do that for any persons, any beings, any times.
Pero también cuando conoces a alguien que puede estar pasándolo muy mal, entonces puedes enfocarte durante un tiempo en esa persona para darle soluciones para sanar, como cosas que puedan curarle, para el problema que tenga. Lo puedes hacer por cualquier persona, cualquier ser, en cualquier momento.
Sometimes someone we know is in a lot of pain, lot of sufferings, needs a lot of help, but sometimes we don't know what to do. Feel like helpless. There's nothing we can do. Unable to do. Sometimes we feel like almost helpless. We want to help, but feel like we are helpless because we don't know what to do and we don't know what we can. And so instead of feeling helpless, not being able to do anything, not being able to contribute or make difference, if you do Tong-LEN practice, that can help you. Instead of feeling helpless and not being able to do, at least you can do the Tong-LEN practice. Even on practical level, you are unable to do much. I feel like you can't, there's nothing you can, or there's very little you can do, there's not much you can do, but you can do on spiritual level, on practice, you can do the Tong-LEN.
A veces alguien a quien conocemos está pasando mucho dolor y nosotros no sabemos qué hacer, nos sentimos inútiles, no sabemos cómo ayudar, estamos como capaces de hacer nada. Y si haces Tong-LEN, esto te puede ayudar porque aunque a nivel práctico es muy poco lo que puedas hacer, a nivel espiritual estás haciendo algo muy beneficioso.
Okay. Amy, yes, please.
Hay personas que son especialmente sensibles o vulnerables y que tienen una capacidad quizá mayor para empatizar con el sufrimiento del otro. Desde este enfoque, lo adecuado es protegerse de alguna manera para no conectar tanto con ese sufrimiento o hay que utilizarlo como parte de la práctica.
There are people that are especially vulnerable about the suffering of others. In that case, do we have to protect because you have, those people can mix with lo dices en el sentido que esas personas no pueden soportar ese dolor, o especialmente sensibles al dolor.
Sí, como una capacidad mayor quizá de empatizar con eso.
They have a bigger capacity to empathize with the suffering of the other people. In that case, we have to take a step away to protect or no.
Can you repeat it again?
There are people that are especially vulnerable
Mhm,
empathize so much with the suffering of the others.
mhm.
For that people, in that cases, do they have to protect themselves?
I see. Mhm. It depends on individuals. If they have the capacity, the ability to deal with that, even though they are sensitive, even though they are very empathetic, they can feel the pain, suffering very easily, and if they have the tools to deal with that, mental tools and practice to deal with that, I think it's good. It helps to improve your love, compassion, being stronger. You don't have to kind of stop that. But if you don't have the tool to deal with that, and if you become overwhelmed by that, and because sometimes you don't have the tool to deal with that, and then you become overwhelmed, and then when you are overwhelmed, either you break down sometime, and then you become like frozen. You break down and you burn out and break down and all of that. Or sometimes we try to protect ourselves, we try to build wall to protect ourselves, and in that way then we become almost like emotionless, so there's that, and so then not completely, if you have the tools, then yeah, that is not a problem.
Entonces, depende de las personas. Si la persona tiene la capacidad para manejarse, si tiene las herramientas mentales, está bien, porque eso va a mejorar, va a hacer que crezca tu amor y tu compasión. Si no tienes las herramientas, y eso vas a verte desbordado, o te puede romper, o te puedes congelar frente a tanto sufrimiento, o a veces puedes tratar de poner un muro para protegernos, o como separarte de la emoción. Entonces no conviene. Si tienes las herramientas, sí. Si no las tienes, no.
But if there is a danger of due to not having that tools to deal with that, and if there is a danger of, falling into a, total devastations, depressions, and all these negative, if it is danger of taking in the dark space of your mind, then you have to be a little bit more protective in that way.
Hay un peligro si no tienes las herramientas de caer en una devastación total, como de llegar al espacio más oscuro de la mente, y en ese caso debes proteger.
Okay, so these are the last questions today.
La última pregunta.
Buenas tardes, gracias, Gisela. ¿Qué consejo podría darnos para que la práctica fuese lo más altruista posible? Ya que por la misma ignorancia prácticamente me paso el día corrigiéndome a mí mismo. Entonces, ¿cómo saber que esa práctica se está haciendo de forma correcta? Gracias.
Thank you, Gisela. What advice can you give me for the practice to be more altruistic as possible? Because I spent most of the day ¿cómo se dice? Corregir. Correcting myself. So he would like to an advice for the practice.
Compassion for yourself, is that, or others?
¿Para la compasión hacia ti o hacia otros?
Para la práctica en sí, para no engañarme, cuando estás haciendo una práctica y piensas que estás haciendo algo beneficioso y en realidad estás por ego o está...
For the practice, to do it the more honest possible and not to fake oneself, and because sometimes you think you are doing you're being so generous and it's not so. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a lot of meditation, including the Tong-LEN practice, it might seem like faking at the very beginning.
Como muchas prácticas de meditación incluyen la práctica del Tong-LEN, que puede, como al principio puede ser
Puede parecer.
parecida.
No, puede parecer
Puede-
que es exclusiva.
Puede parecer que es falso, ¿no? Que es,
So even that practice might feel like it's just faking, just imagining. It's not really doing, really is not happening, it's not really doing. It might seem like we are just kind of faking and we are just kind of making ourselves and like that.
sí, que puede parecer como, incluso cuando meditas, como que como estás fabricando, que es falso, que no está pasando nada, que estás engañándote.
But even like faking at the very beginning, we have to do it until it becomes real.
Pero aunque falsees al principio, tenemos que hacerlo hasta que se convierta en verdadero.
So just like, I think there is one English expression, fake it until you make it.
Hay una expresión inglesa que dice, falséalo hasta que lo hagas. Rima mejor, pero...
I also heard even in technology, that is the basics, they fake the result. In order to get that result, they fake the result and then they try to find out, go down and figure out how to make that happen. At the very beginning, it's a fake, the result that they want to. And then through that, that is how they go through the process to reach that.
También con cosas tecnológicas lo hacen así, hacen como falsean un resultado donde quieren llegar, entonces van para atrás hasta que encuentran el proceso de poder hacer realidad eso que quieren conseguir, pero al principio es un prototipo, es falso.
So same in a lot of our practice. At the very beginning, it doesn't come naturally. It doesn't come naturally, spontaneous. So we have to make effort to make it feel that way. Even with the effort, sometimes it's hard to have the feelings, But with the effort, conscious effort, we try to make it feel it, even though we cannot feel it at the very beginning. And if you keep on doing that slowly, you will be able to feel it with less effort.
Y al principio tenemos que hacer mucho esfuerzo, aunque no lo sintamos, pero con ese esfuerzo, pues poco a poco vas a tener que ir haciendo menos esfuerzo ya. Pero al principio como que hay que poner de tu parte, hay que hacer esfuerzo y ya se va integrando poco a poco.
And then slowly you reach a point where you don't have the full effort, where you feel effortlessly, spontaneous, naturally. And that is the state we want to reach. But to reach that stage at the very beginning, you have to make conscious effort and to feel that way. And therefore, because it requires effort and consciously trying to feel that feeling, because it's not coming naturally, it might feel like it's faking, it is not real. But that is the process to reach the effortless, spontaneous feeling.
Hasta que alcanzas un estado en el que no hay ningún esfuerzo, viene espontáneamente, hasta que tú tienes que alcanzar eso, al principio tienes que hacer mucho esfuerzo, tienes que como que esforzarte por sentir, aunque no lo sientas, y poco a poco eso como que se va ablandando, hay que hacer ese esfuerzo, ese es el proceso, ¿no? Hasta que ya no lo necesitas.
Okay. If there's any questions, please bring tomorrow.
Si hay más preguntas, por favor, mañana.
And personally, I enjoy more questions.
Personalmente he disfrutado más.
You do the Hishwal Rinpoches?
Yes, on the screen.
Yeah, so I cannot see, so someone can, you can do. You can lead.
Joya que concedes y colmas los deseos, fuente de todo beneficio y felicidad en este mundo. A ti, de bondad incomparable, sin que has te suplico, que todos tus sagrados deseos te cumplas y cumplan. Paciente en soportar las dificultades de las enseñanzas del mundo en general y las enseñanzas del Filosofía de Capa en cientos de direcciones, Señor del Dharma, que mantiene Dios de todos y viste los hábitos a Capán, por favor, vuelve velozmente como la gloria de las enseñanzas incomparables.
Thank you, thank you. Buenas noches. Thank you, thank you.